Hi everyone, it's Sharon from the City of Burlington, from the Child, Youth and Family team, and today I have some sensory jars that we are going to make that you can use in a couple of different ways. So you're going to need some basic supplies for these. For the calm down jar, I would recommend a plastic bottle. This one has a little bit of a blue tinge, so it isn't perfect, but you want something clear and plastic so that it won't break, especially if you are going to be using it when somebody is a little bit upset. You want something like that, and something that, this is a pretty thin bottle, but something that's a little heavier is really great as well. So you need that. Wow, it's like an accordion. You're going to need some glitter glue. You're going to need some glue rather. So clear glue is great. You can also get glitter glue that's pre-glittered, which will also work. I have some glitter and I have a little bit of food coloring as well. So this is for the sensory jar. And you're going to need some hot water. So got my trusty kettle with some hot water in there. Just obviously be careful because you don't want to burn yourself when you're doing this activity. Won't fit, darn. So the mixture for this isn't really an exact science. It's about, you want 20% glue and you want the rest is 80% water. Leave yourself some room at the top so that you can figure out your solution. And then you can top up, but you want some room so that obviously when you're doing some agitation, there's some room for your water and glue mixture to move around so that things can happen. So I've got some glue, doesn't matter what kind, but clear glue is what you would like. I got this at my local dollar store for not too much money. So this is a pretty inexpensive craft that you can do as well. Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna add some color. I decided on something light just because this bottle already has a bit of a blue tinge, so I thought that would be better. But my sparkles are a little bit darker because I wanted them to show up. If you have a funnel, even better because it will help you not make a giant mess. So that is what I'm going to try not to do right now. You do want your water to be pretty warm when you're doing this initially, just so that it can help with that agitation and mixing with the glue to get it very soft so that you can mix it nicely. Until you have your lid glued on, I wouldn't get too crazy with this. Don't let your kids go to town with it because you really do want there to be a good mix. And you want to be able to add whatever you need to add. So we're going to see. I know it takes a little bit. I will say that I have seen many of these done, and the clear Voss bottles, I'm not suggesting that you need to buy them, but are really, really great. But any plastic container will do. Ideally, if they're a lot more clear than this, as I said, this has got a little bit of a blue tinge, that works a little bit better because it's easier for your kids to see. So you have to decide sort of how quickly you want your glitter to settle. And the idea behind these is that if you're feeling really, really upset, is that you can go and you can shake the crap out of this thing, which is part of sort of the therapy of it all. And then you're going to set it down and you're going to watch and you're going to see the glitter is going to flow and swirl around, and you're going to wait until the glitter settles. And then you're going to be able to have a conversation with that person about how they're feeling. So it's not sort of an immediate punishment. It's time for this, like the calm down jar. Let's go get it, shake it up, do whatever you need to do with it, and then let's let it happen. Depending on how much glue or water you have will slow or speed things up in terms of how quickly it takes for your glitter to settle. You can also do some different things where you can put some heavier objects in so that there can be some things that fall at different rates. look up some glitter jars or some calm down jars online. There's some fabulous resources for these. There's some nighttime ones where you would include a little bit of glow in the dark paint and some glow in the dark stars. And that can be something at nighttime, is that if they're having trouble getting to sleep, is that they can agitate the calm down jar and then ask them to count the stars. And it just gives them something to look at that's slowly happening that ideally is going to help them fall asleep. So lots of resources. We'll put some links on our website for some of those resources, so make sure to check them out because they are fabulous. And as you can see, the glitter's starting to settle at the bottom of my jar, and it does take a while. It can take 2 to 5 minutes, but it gives everybody that opportunity to bring themselves back to a calm state so that then you can have a conversation about whatever the behavior might have been or what you want to see happen in the future. And there's not sort of that immediate angry reaction to what happened. And it's kind of neat and fun to look at. So as I said, play with your amounts. This might need a little bit more glue because it is fairly loose, but I have the ability to open the top and do that. Once you're happy with how everything is moving and settling, glue that top on for sure, so that you don't have to worry about it going anywhere should the shaking get a little bit excited. So that's a calm down jar. The other jar that I have that we can make isn't necessarily for calming. It's more just a really good time. It's a shorter lived good time, but something that you can do to have a little bit more fun when you're outside, especially if it's getting a little bit later. So you can make some games out of it. So we're going to make a glow jar. There's a couple ways that you can do this. You can use store-bought glow sticks, which will then have a shorter shelf life in terms of how long that they will stay glowing. But if it's just an activity that you're going to do once in the evening, perfect. If you want them to last a little longer, I would get some glow-in-the-dark paint, which you can then dilute a little bit with water so that when you add it to the jar and swirl it around, that it's going to cling to the sides. You're going to need to let that dry, but then you can charge them via light whenever you want to use them, and then you can play with them sort of over and over again. We're just going to make a glow stick jar today, just as a quick example, but there is the other option to use that glow paint if you have access to it. I'm using a mason jar with a lid. They're glass though, so if you're concerned about them breaking, depending on what you decide to do with them, then I would suggest that you get, again, a clear plastic container that if it falls, you're not going to have to worry about having glass as an issue. Glitter, I'm still going to use this glitter. I'm not using food coloring this time. Excuse me. But I do have a glow stick. So here's you need to be careful with this part. I could suggest that you can try and take the top off with a knife, but make sure that you have an adult and a very sharp utility knife for it. I have a pair of scissors and they're pretty decent, and I'm finding that this is easier to cut the top off. You can do this a couple of different ways as well. So I have this one where I've already cut the top off. There's liquid inside that you can see, but there's also a glass container, if you will, inside it, which you need to break, which is what starts the chemical reaction. However, if you pour this like this into this container, you're going to then have to break the glass, and the glass stays in this jar. So it adds a little bit of a hazard. Or if you're going to be doing this immediately, you can break it, shake it, cut this off, and then very carefully pour your liquid in. And if you're pretty careful about it, you might get a couple little pieces of glass in there, but for the most part, the glass has stayed in the bottom. And then I don't have to worry about having the added worry of having that glass in the jar as well. I'm just using the purple glitter again because it's available. So you can do it a couple different ways. You can take your jar, shake it, shake it, shake it so that you coat all of the jar. And then you can throw some glitter in. Whoa, that's a lot of glitter. But hey, who doesn't love a little glitter? Or you can add the glitter in after, or you can do it all at the same time. Sadly, this blue is not